All right, we're ready. Yeah, please, Edward, introduce yourself, please, from a high level, and just let us know about your role in the business. And you said you started since young in this dedication and journey of health advancement. So the floor is yours.
I've done a number of interviews and very blessed to be interviewed by a lot of very well-known journalists. Particularly years ago, I was interviewed by Barbara Walters, and I was actually on with Bertie from the UK. And it was at a time when people were starting to really think about fitness and getting into exercise on a regular basis. So when Barbara Walters asked me how long I've been doing this, I said, I've been doing it since 5 years old. And she was like, what do you mean 5 years old? I said, well, I had this gym teacher, Mr. Reardon, who was very into moving for kids. And during recess, the way it worked back then and now is that the kids that were more blessed physically are chosen captain at lunchtime, and then they pick all the other kids to be on their team to play a football game, basketball, whatever it is. So I was always one of the better athletes, and I would be chosen captain. And I would always pick one or two kids on my team that were always neglected. Either they weren't blessed physically, they were shunned, and I would take those kids, and while they were on the team, I would involve them with the play. I wouldn't just pick them and then leave them as an outcast. So I'd get in the huddle and I'd say, all right, guys, here's the plan. Bob, you do this. Steve and Jim, you do this. Now, Howard, you're going to go running to the end zone, turn around. I'm going to throw you the ball, catch it. And all the other kids in the huddle would say, don't throw it to Howard. He's going to miss it. I said, shut up. He's going to catch it. So ready, set, hike. Everyone goes out. Howard goes out, throwing the ball, misses it. I knew he was going to miss it. It's okay. Get back in the huddle. Same play. We're going to do it again. Now you can imagine all the other kids on the team, on our team, and their mindset. Oh my God, why are you going to throw it to him again? He's not good. He's terrible. He's a klutz, whatever. Missed it again. Get back in the huddle. Howard, when the ball comes to you, watch. It's not going to hurt you. Just go like that. He cringe. Said, feel it. It's soft. It's good. Then we scored a touchdown. And ever since that day, I have always been coaching people how to better themselves so that that self-esteem and confidence will allow him, when he's not on Edward's team, to go out there and feel, I can do this. And that's was the beginning. And today I coach youth sports, yada, yada. But that's how long. Now, I don't know why I had that skill set or the motivation to do so, but it made sense and it made me feel good.
Wow, it's very impressive that it's like for someone at such a young age to kind of get in touch with their calling. I think it's really a gift when that happens. And yeah, so for again, for everyone out here, we have Edward Jackowski, the founder of Exude.com and really the father of body type based exercise. And beyond. It goes far deeper. You guys are going to be very impressed with what you hear here. Please, Edward, share a little bit about your company and what they do from a high level.
Well, we like to take people, take a look at their environment, everyday environment, their height, their weight, their body type. We'll get into that in a minute. Their medical and orthopedic background, the level of motivation, how's their eating going along, how much do they work, do they travel, do they commute? So we want to take a snapshot of every person's everyday life, because we're all creatures of habit. You get up at a certain time, you brush your teeth at a certain time. And where does fitness fall into your everyday lifestyle? Well, either it does or it doesn't. For the people that it does, great. We want to see if you're working out with you reaching your objectives, A, and B, can you be more efficient? Can you be more effective? You already own the motivation, which is a great tool set to own. But what are you doing with that time frame? So for that person, we want to teach them how to get to A in gym class. Even though they're working hard, it may not be what they need and it may not be working. On the other hand, the people, by the way, most people don't work out. They're active. So as a country, you would think that with all that the information that's out there, whether it be through AI whether it be through experts out there. We are more unfit today and more overweight today than we've ever been in our lifetime. So clearly, the message isn't working.
Mm-hmm.
And the message is not to move, but the message is how to move. So that dilemma is what Exude fills in. In
Mm-hmm.
theory, everyone that's listening and watching, all exercise can be good for you. So you'll notice people do what they're good at, what they like to do. But very few people do things that they need to do because of a various amount of reasons. I don't like to stretch. Who cares if you like to stretch? It's good for you. You don't know how to stretch. But
Mm-hmm.
because of that, I'll do it later, or it's unimportant. Oh, I hate to do cardio. Okay, great. But you're not going to lose weight. You're not going to improve your heart health. I don't like to do sit-ups. No one does. People have to understand, none of this stuff is fun. Very few people enjoy the act of exercise. What you need to do is say, it's good for me. Perfect example. What kid in college says, I can't wait to get to class, study, and get my degree and hit the workplace? They don't. But what motivates them? That piece of paper, that diploma. So even though they don't like to do it, they still do it. So we figured out a formula to get people to become self-motivated. That's the difference. If I were to tell you one difference between Exude and everything else, is that there are a lot of things that initially motivate people to start or maintain a fitness regimen. But we're able to get people to absorb what is needed, the tool set, the knowledge of how to be motivated to work out despite any constraint, whether it be physical, orthopedic, mental, lifestyle. So that's what we like to do is we organize your day. Okay, this is your work hours. This is what you need to do at home. Now, this is the time frame that you're going to work out. So you only have 45 minutes. So what are you going to do? People do what they like, not what they need.
So that's really fascinating. And also, I don't know what you're at liberty to share about your patents and other advanced things, but I just want people to know we've spoken with Edward. We actually know that his system, I don't want to say too much, but it has profound health impacts to the point of it delves into real and deep and studied science. I'm holding back certain things, Edward, because I wasn't sure if they're allowed yet to be mentioned.
You can share with your audience anything you want. We're all protected,
Okay.
Trademarks,
Okay.
copyrights, et cetera, et cetera. And we want to educate. We want to educate people. So years ago, I was exercising all throughout school and college and sports. And when I played college football, they put me on this weight program. And I started to get so big that I wasn't as mobile. And I wasn't really stronger, a little bit. But I had already been doing chin-ups, push-ups, pull-ups, jumping rope, full court basketball. So I was already naturally very strong. I didn't need to do a lot of weights. What I needed to do was work on my endurance and make sure that I was fast enough to go up and make a tackle. So as I started this company doing my undergrad at Baruch Business College in Manhattan, I realized that people started to stand out with how their body looked. So when I would take on a client, I would say, what are you doing? And then I would start taking empirical notes and this and that. And every woman that was coming to me had great shapes, but they themselves didn't like the size of their body. And they all complained. I have a good diet, but my legs look like a running back from the NFL. And I'm like, that's because you're doing too much of this and not enough of that. And they would say, no, that's not true. Not true. I'm like, okay, I'll tell you what. Let's take girth measurements of your arm, tummy, thighs, knees, calves, ankles, and I'm going to bulk you. I'm actually going to get you bigger. Well, how are you going to do that? I said, I'm going to lift weights. Okay. A month later, 2 inches bigger in the thigh, 1.5 inches on each arm. I said, okay, now we're going to do it my way. Retake measurements, switch their fitness routine, and voila. That's why we're the oldest standing one-on-one company in the country. We've survived all the fallout, all these companies that were bankrupt. I did it without financing. We did it. How do you make money in the fitness industry? People forget that. How do you make money? People sell memberships, right? So while they're focusing on getting people in to buy into going to the gym, I focused on how to change the human anatomy. So we became the only company in the world that measures the aesthetic effect of exercise to the human anatomy. I applied for a patent. Everyone said you can't get a patent on a system. And I said, you're right, you can't, but I can. And then I was awarded the world's only patent on how to work out based on body type. So this has evolved. It's not like I woke up one day. It's from the beginning of when I was 5 years old and moving, playing sports, getting involved, taking
Right.
notes, and then I became an author of many books, 7 to this point. And my books started to get me recognized. And that's actually what drew the attention of Barbara Walters, because I had a very well-known book published by Simon and Schuster called Hold It, You're Exercising Wrong. And she held it up during the interview and said, this is fascinating. Everyone is wasting their time. That's what she said. Why? I just gave you a small example of why people don't reach their aesthetic goals. It's already hard enough to work out. So at that point, they've lost their mojo. So how do you motivate people to work out? You change their body. You change the way they function. And that's the space we own.
So it's really results based, which we can really
It could
relate.
be more flexibility. It could be a simple thing like getting up out of bed and it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
We're able to find that out because of how we're able to screen the person.
Right.
And no one
Yeah.
thinks about that. They're like, oh, I'm overweight. Okay, so what? You're overweight. Great. Well, isn't it interesting when you look at people jogging on the streets? They're built like rulers, right? You never see heavyweight people running, do you? You always see the heavyweight people lifting weights because it's easy for them to own that muscle body type. We're lifting a weight. So what happens when you lift a weight and you don't do it properly? You're going to build muscle under the fat. The biggest fallacy in the exercise industry, or one of, is if I lift weights, I'm going to have more muscle and I'm going to burn my fat off. And that couldn't be further from the truth. Based on that theory, you hear that all the time, right? Lift weights, right?
Yeah.
So let's delve into that, because I always like to get people to understand through logic. So are you telling me that the New York City ballet dancers, would we agree that they're in pretty nice shape? How about ballerinas? Pretty good
No
shape,
one
right?
like a dancer. No one like a dancer.
Right. So you're telling me that they practice on Broadway on the wooden stage. Then after that practice, they go behind a curtain and they lift weights. And then they say, it's a good thing those weights are there. We'd never be in this kind of shape. Interesting, right?
Yeah. I wouldn't mind.
Great. Right. Are marathon runners thin or thick?
Thin for sure.
So you're telling me when these people say weights don't bulk, especially women, that if you took a marathon bodybuilder and a marathon runner, a marathon woman and a bodybuilder woman, and switched their workouts, you're going to tell me that after a year, when you take that photo, that they're going to both look the same? Why
No.
are there, is a bodybuilder lifting 50-pound dumbbells or 2-pound dumbbells? Yeah. Which one are they lifting?
50.
Why? Do they want to be bigger or smaller?
Bigger.
So do weights bulk?
Yeah.
Thank you. It's right. This is not difficult. It's supposed to add muscle. What we figure out is if you're built a certain way, whether you're an hourglass, ruler, spoon, bottom heavy, or a cone, top heavy, how much weight bulks you and how much weight will help you reduce. We don't tell you what your size should be. What we do is give you the formula based on your goal. So if you want to be bigger, we're going to go with heavier weights and a little bit less cardio. And if you want to be smaller, we're going to go with a lighter weight and a lot more cardio. And that's the formula. If it weren't, then athletes' bodies wouldn't look the way they do. We're not against weightlifting. We want to make sure that whatever weight you're lifting and how you're lifting it, frequency, duration, intensity, is it helping you achieve whatever aesthetic and fitness goal that you personally, Susan or Bob, are looking for? And that's why people come to us. That exact formula of what to do. It's like a beautiful menu of ingredients of what to put in so that the cake rises every time.
Well, I know it works. I know it works because not to even, the reach and the influence of it, I came to understand that even the current president many years ago requested that you look after someone who was in celebrity standing at that time. So I know that is a very influential and effective approach. And I'd love to hear just a little bit about the impact it has on type 2 diabetes because I couldn't believe it. And I told our partner, Sam, and he was blown away. And I think he wants to get involved. I'm sure he wants to meet you now. He clearly does, actually. And so we'll be looking forward to that. But yeah, we want to hear about that. And also then we can move into a little bit how AI is impacting. Um,
Let's talk about AI first, because I think it's important, because not in AI in relation to Exude or body types. That's a whole different subject, and we'll save that for another time.
all right.
The purpose of AI, whether you're looking up something about a bee sting or proper way to exercise, is that it's supposed to be authoritative and it's supposed to be something that is documented. And because of all the information that's out there, a lot of times when people look something up on AI, it's not accurate, and that's okay. But I think the rule to give is to show when you're going to look up something with fitness, you want to make sure it's double sourced. You want to make sure that it's authenticated. You want to make sure that it's scientifically proven. And you want to make sure that whatever that information is, it's scientific. So a lot of times people will look up, oh, best exercise for weight loss. Let's do that right now. Why don't you, right now, as we're speaking, just plug in, because most people need to lose weight today, right? We agree?
That's correct.
So I want to lose weight. So I plug into AI, best exercise for weight loss. So let's see what they say.
I wonder if we got the same results, Hassan.
I'm looking at it right now here. I got, let's see here. Let me just move this out of the best exercise for ways depends on the individual preferences, fitness level, and access to equipment, but high intensity training, running and weight training are the most effective options. That's what I got.
Okay. So let's say that that was true. It's not, but let's say it was true. I'm 60 years old. I'm Susan from Des Moines, Iowa. I have type 2 diabetes. I'm 50 pounds overweight. I can't walk. But I just read that I have to run and lift weights. So what do I do? The answer is nothing, because I can't run, and I certainly am not in shape enough to lift weights. How much should I lift? When should I lift? What do I do to prepare my body to lift weights, i.e., warm up, stretch beforehand? So you see the problem? But what she can do is, Andy, right now you're sitting down, right?
Yep.
You know what a recumbent stationary bike is?
No, actually, I don't.
It's a bike that you could sit in to support your back and knee, that was designed for people with orthopedic problems like Susie out in Des Moines, Iowa, where she could do aerobic exercise at an angle because of the machine, the way it's built, with light resistance, not to aggravate her knees. And now, voila, Susan can start exercise. But you're not going to find that, are you?
No, I've never even heard of that before.
Such a simple problem solved within 1 second. And that's how you get weight off of Susie from Des Moines, Iowa, with type 2 diabetes. We found after years and years that people started coming back to us who were working out on the body type system. In leading to your question before, Hassan, that people's A1C number were going down significantly. So I looked it up. Why would someone's A1C number be going down with not exercise, but specific exercise? So I found a gentleman on the website who had conducted studies at LSU, Louisiana State University, of everyone that was exercising with both aerobic and anaerobic, meaning lifting weights or doing sit-ups. And he tested people, and that their A1C number was able to come down. So I saw that come across a ticker, because I belong to an organization that anytime the word body type or any of our key words come up, we're notified. I took that study and I put it in a folder for a year. Then I decided to call this gentleman. I said, hello, doctor. I said, I read your study and I'm impressed, but I hate to burst your bubble. I've already written this. 15 years earlier. That's what's great about copyrights, right? And most doctors would be obnoxious and say, please. He goes, send me your books. I sent him my books. He goes, I think I can get a study funded on your system, Edward, to show the efficacy of your program versus the general guidelines of fitness and federal guidelines of fitness in the United States. I'm like, let's do it. So he found a donor, put up X amount of millions of dollars. They invited me down to LSU. I showed the team, their exercise specialist, how to do the body type program. I lent them the license to do that only for the study. And it came back and proved that Exude's fitness program was just as effective, if not more, in teaching people how to work out properly. The federal guidelines has a intricate program where you have to do weights, you have to do bench press, this and that. Ours can be done at 5 feet of space without any machines. And then it was presented to the American College of Sports Medicine. And today, we're the only fitness program, full body workout program, that has been proven to be as effective as the federal guidelines of fitness in the United States of America. And that's how that came about.
Wow. For reducing its impact on diabetes as well.
No, that's a different study. We'll get to that
Oh,
a
that's
little bit
a
later.
different study. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was just, I had everything I needed. We had the body types, the trademarks, the books, we had the testimonials, but I couldn't adamantly say that our program was as effective and safe as the federal guidelines of fitness. No one had ever thought about that. Now we can emphatically state that.
Beautiful.
So not only is it from an aesthetic great, but also from a safe and effective perspective. No one can argue. They may not like what we say, but they can't argue against it.